Hey everyone, Temporal here, and for this session we are reviewing a Gold Anna. If you guys are enjoying the content, please do like and subscribe. That really does help me out. Or if you are looking to get coaching yourself, you can join my Discord in the description below, see my rates, connect with other Overwatch people, all that good stuff. No reason to be offended by that fire strike, but I'll live. I am actually going to be a bit of a stickler for this. Literally press X. I do not want you wandering around missing 100 health. That's not something I want happening. And I also look at you and go, hey, you can heal everyone else way more effectively than Zen. Just have Zen throw the Harmony orb on you. Literally press X when you take that damage and notice you don't immediately get the Harmony orb. Like, don't wait, don't waste time, don't accidentally go down to some other spam, etc., etc. Don't have to go take the Mega. Literally press X. You can heal everyone else while you're your Zen, throws Harmony on you. You can get Genji, you can get Reinhardt, you can get Zara. You're going to be fine with them. Later, yes, he'll move his Harmony over to the Genji, and that'll be great. But anytime you need it, just literally press X. I am dead serious. It's not like rude. I know some people get like, oh, it's rude to ask for healing or something. That's not what's going on. Or some people go, no, it's too distracting. No, it's totally worth doing. Okay, well let's get you prepped for your final with the good scarf vibes. Yeah, you went for the health back, but you did also get the Harmony Orb. I don't love that nade. Here, let's rewind a little bit. Where's my mouse? There we go. So here you are. You go for the sleep, which I don't really have an issue with. Their team can't punish you. You don't totally know that their team can't punish you for not having it, but that's fine with me. You close this angle. Your team doesn't really fall behind while you've closed this angle. You top off the Genji. You immediately pivot to check on your Zen, which I like. He is fine, though, so then you go over to your tanks. The Zarya first, which is not behind cover. That is correct. And then you pivot over to your Reinhardt. Good stuff, other than some missed shots. And let's try and understand what your plan with this nade is. See, that's what I thought. I thought for a moment, wait, did you throw the nade over here? And I wasn't looking, and sure enough, you did not. So your Ryan was fine. He has plenty of barrier left to protect himself with. He has cover that he can use, and you're shooting shots at him, and you have 3 shots left in your clip. You don't use the nade to heal someone. The fact that a nade heals someone is kind of the least interesting aspect of all of the bajillion things that a nade does. The most interesting thing is it prevents healing when it's on an enemy. The next most interesting thing it does is it increases future healing received. So if your Reinhardt is in a brawl battle and he's just getting chunked down and you nade him so that your future, your next few shots heal him more so that he can sustain, that's also kind of interesting. Damage is kind of interesting, healing is kind of interesting, but they're much less interesting than those other two things. So you don't need to heal your Reinhardt faster here. Your Reinhardt has cover, your Reinhardt has plenty of barrier left. He's not in a place where he needs to be swinging at anything. Just line up and hit your shots, or even reload, hit your shots, miss your shots, whatever, then reload and then hit your shots on him. He's totally fine. There is no need for you to spend the nade on him. Now, if you miss so many shots that the enemy team starts pushing him because you're low, well, that's just going to give you a better nade opportunity. But your nade is like your best cooldown as Anna. It's your real playmaking ability. I don't want you to waste it just to heal someone that you're afraid you're not healing fast enough when they're not in any danger. Okay, you're gonna have to change your angle. That was a little dicey. You probably needed to just go left here, but that's okay. You better turn and heal that Zen. Oh, he was purple, okay. Yuck. Going to the barrier. I like that you looked for the offensive shot through Hotel there. I get wanting to heal your Zen there, I do, but the instant I hear barrier destroyed, I know my Reinhardt is probably in more danger, so I want a faster pivot back to the Reinhardt. I know when you last checked on him, he'd been fine, but your Zen actually wasn't missing very much health and wasn't in that dangerous of a position, given where your tanks were playing. Okay, time to leave. Well, sure, why not? Still not worth that nade. That nade is going to hold you back. Good cleanup.
Anyone want to join me? I'm on fire. Keep out of my way.
I'd have happily taken the tempo advantage. Your team wanted to actually push rather than wait on spawns and take their 6v4, but fine by me.
Objective A captured. Escort the payload. Move it out.
Okay. So you sort of did that exactly backwards. The cart will actually come out of this garage. After you cap the point, the cart is going to take time to come out of the garage and get to here on its own. And nothing you do, doesn't matter how many people you stand here, it's going to take the same amount of time. Once it is fully out of the garage door is closed, etc., then you want someone on it. You sort of waited here for a bit while it was doing its thing. Then you wandered up here after it had done its thing, and someone else had to push it a couple steps to get to you. So you actually wanted to come up here, peek, contribute to what was going on up here, then run back to move the cart. That was how you wanted to do it. Okay, let's take a look. Are those long sleeps at peak points worth it if you know you won't be engaging for 10 plus seconds? They can be. They're not amazing, but it depends what your team has available as follow-up options. Because right now, if he hits a peak on someone, even if his team isn't going to be following up, even if his team isn't going to take a push, isn't going to take a real engage, if he hits a sleep, Widow's going to delete the character. Or Zen's going to throw an orb volley, etc. Like, there's still enough reason. They're pretty low risk for him to just peek for a sleep like that. And he has heroes on his team who can... yeah, you found Waldo. Good for you, man. I need the hat. I think I found my next Halloween costume anyways. But maybe I'll just be dressing as myself. Maybe I am Waldo. Maybe Waldo's dressing as me. Who knows? The sleeps like that are fine. He has people that can reasonably follow up on it. So even if he goes down, and he's not like sleeping into 1v6 scenarios, he's just sleeping when his team isn't ready to push yet. And if he hits one of those sleeps, his Widow or Zen have a decent chance, a reasonable chance, we'll say, of getting an elimination off of that. Same thing would apply if he had like a Roadhog or something like that. So yeah, that's potentially worth, even though it exposes him to a little bit of danger. But I'm not saying that if he goes in and tries to sleep 1v6 or 2v6, etc. But he's just sleeping when he's like down one or his team isn't in position yet, etc., and that's fine because he has people that can take advantage of it. Before that, we were talking about the cart. I think we finished that thought, so here we go. And the 10 plus seconds doesn't matter because it's going to take more than 10 seconds to get back at this point of the map. Like, with where the enemies come spawn-wise, it'll take probably at least 17 seconds to get back. Try to sleep those, please. This is plenty safe positioning. I'm fine with it. I don't think you need this nano because I think you can consistently win this fight without the nano, but I don't dislike this nano that much. You're using nano and eyes. I don't think you need to be doing this yet, but they do have the better ult economy, so if you want to keep your snowball going, yeah, I'm okay with this. It's not like a grade A thing, but it's not something I want to criticize. Yeah, so you want to react to shatters with sleep dart attempts. This time, you were just at the edge of shatter range, but if you had been just outside the edge of shatter range, think what that would have gotten you. Yes, he'd have still at his shatter, but then he'd be asleep not following up on his shatter, and his follow-up isn't that great without him. His Zarya is... oh no, his Zarya isn't even here. So, like, his follow-up is a Mercy and an Ana plus a McCree that's going to have to run like the entire duration, going to have to be moving during the entire duration of the shatter. So go for these sleep darts because you were right on the edge, as you can tell, literally right on the edge before you get knocked down. Also a step back would have been nice, but that's fine. Fine by me. And then you follow it up with the nade, that's fine. But now you need to play a little bit safer positioning-wise. You have no cooldowns. No reason not to take shots there. You can even just take hip shots as you're backing out. You had plenty of ammo in your clip. Why are you in front of your team? You don't need to be here. You don't. Zen doesn't need to be here either, but hey. I know, there's the McCree. You're worried about him, but you just play to the left side of the cart. And the McCree was dealt with. There we go. So are you worried about the Genji? No, that's your Genji. Okay. Directionally, you can hear it. You'll get a shot at it. Excuse me, you're gonna get a shot at that.
Fire at will.
Okay.
Take your medicine.
That, on the other hand, is worth an aid. And the reason that that's worth an aid is because... Tyre unfortunately distracts you for a pretty long time. They do a good job with that. So that's your graph. And I understand thinking, hey, I might have to shoot and nade this Tyre to break it. So I understand a little bit of hesitation to use nade here. But honestly, this is so juicy. Like, you have targets of yours that are low health, super low health here. You have these guys that, you know, a nade is great against. Yes, there's a shield in the way, but they've already popped their bubble, and your nade would get the McCree. I'm surprised that we don't see a nade go in this direction. Yes, I can see more than you from this. I'm kind of cheating. Okay, you went to take the shots instead. Fine. But even as that was falling apart, there was the look for a nade there. And if you really want to get critical, you can do things. You know what? I'm going to be difficult because it's gold, and golds totally do this. Oh, did I go too far? No, there's nothing you can splash it on that'll consistently hit. If you hit it right on the edge here, yes, that'll get Reinhardt, but that's it. You don't have any other edges that you can be using other than getting the McCree here, and the Rein will turn his shield if that happens. Unfortunate. Okay.
Take your medicine.
Peace be upon you.
That's much better.
Okay. Keep backing out.
Hello.
All the way back. Don't slow down here.
Greetings.
Don't slow down here.
Someone get that payload moving.
It's okay to wait for your Zen, but don't now make your Zen wait for you. You don't want to not retreat far enough.
Children, behave. Children, behave.
Okay, you have a team again. You don't need to be pocketing. So think about who you enable properly. If you're going here for a cheeky nade that you plan to win with, that's one thing. If you're going here to pocket your McCree, I don't like it. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So that was a little predictable, but it's fine.
Nim.
Do I have any right now? I mean, I could go get some, or if you guys want to send me codes from games that you're in, that's fine. So here's the thing. I like doing OWL level VOD reviews, but I'm not really a fan of access journalism. And what I mean by that is if I go get the VODs from the players themselves, you kind of have to do a little bit of a puff piece. You can't actually be as critical as you like, necessarily. Not because they explicitly say that, but it's sort of how the supply works, where if you start seriously pointing out things for them to improve on, it gets and you do it publicly. If you do it for them, they're happy, they love it, they want more coaching, etc. But if you do coaching for pro level players without, getting their blessing, we'll say it, which is what I do, you get into a position, and I'm fine in this position, where they don't want to give you codes for their stuff unless it's for you to privately review them, which, I totally understand and I totally get, but I'm working outside of the Overwatch structure. I'm not intending to get hired into as an OWL coach or anything like that anymore. I've run that gauntlet. I understand it, and there's not enough money in it. So I'm perfectly happy working from the outside, but it means that it's a little trickier for me to go, hey, would you mind sending me a code that I'm going to review publicly? If I'm going to do that, they want a puff piece. You sort of see what I'm saying there? So I kind of need to get those from other people that are interested in having the games reviewed that are in the game, if that makes sense. Or when they put it on their stream out for their fans, and then, well, now it's out there so I can go use it. But I don't watch a ton of people streaming all the time. When I watch streams, I'm watching streams that have already been recorded, and I'm going through and finding good information, et cetera, et cetera. So if you guys see stuff, you can supply it to me, and if you're interested, I may take a look at it, certainly, but it's not something that I have a whole stash of codes, and even though I have connections to plenty of pro players, I'm sure you understand where I'm going with this. Okay, cool. Back to the match here. So this one was fine. I understand why you went for the cheeky nade here. I didn't love the cheeky nade unless you coordinated with your team that they were going to have to hard push. So what you had to do with this cheeky nade, this is like, I like taking off angles for nades, but this is an off angle that takes a long time for you to get back to healing your team. So if you're going to do a cheeky nade from here, rather than somewhere where you can quickly get back to healing your team, you need to tell your team to hard push into it because they need to open your line of sight back up for you. So if you went, I'm going to go here, as my team starts to fight them, I'm going to hit a nade, and you hit a good nade, you then need your team to understand, you need to have told them that they need to hard push into this so that they're now fighting here so that you can actually heal them. Because if you watch what actually happens here, even though you hit a good nade, we'll go back a little further. So your team is peeking too early. You're still taking this flank. Your team is peeking too early, taking too much damage. But now you're going to hit a nade, and you need to be going, push, push, push. You need to be yelling at them to slam the W key. And they should still have pretty much full health or almost full health because they should have just peeked a second ago around the previous corner to be pushing. And your team needs to now push. You're going to hit this nade, and your team needs to push so that your Reinhardt is now here or even further here. Like, they need to hard push into this no matter the cost because that's the only way that they're going to get heals again. They push into your line of sight after you got the nade behind enemy lines. And that's good for two reasons. A, it means they'll be hard pushing to take advantage of this nade, which means they can actually get eliminations, and this is the window. B, it'll put them back in your line of sight. So that's what you needed to coordinate, call on comms. If you tried to call it on comms and it didn't happen, no problem. This was a fine play. If you didn't call it on comms, this is how you level this play up, the next two levels. Yeah, two of his team are purple, but that's what I'm talking about. His team is purple because his team was peaking, pushing, etc., starting to jockey for position up here effectively instead of just holding this corner. His team needed to be holding this corner, and they can be spread out like this, they can be staged a little, but holding this corner until about a second ago. And about a second ago, his team sort of started battling for space, taking space, etc. This nade hits, and then they push in and fight up here, fight from here, etc. That's how that needed to play out if they were on comms, and that's how that would have played out in a higher level game. It's hard, I know, this is gold, the comms aren't always there, but the first step is to make Tom here have the right comms, because he could have absolutely called this play and still gotten some level of compliance, maybe just from his Reinhardt, but just from your Reinhardt tends to get most of your team to move, etc.
This is going to hurt.
Yeah, because now he has to do this retreat, and if you're losing the fight, you're going to have to do this retreat anyways, but he's effectively, he's lost too many people during this. His team has gone far behind, and you see the team is late to really push hard into the purple that he opened up, so they don't get a ton from it.
Watching your back.
Dein Schutzengel ist da.
Okay, dodge fire strikes, man. They're not that hard. I know you were scoped. That one was a little harder, but that's two fire strikes that you've been hit by that you absolutely don't need to. And you weren't going to put yourself in more danger by,
Getting rid of me that easy.
dodging that one.
Peace be upon you.
Number one Anna tip, dodge fire strike. I can't do that. I can't. And yet.
You're going to be okay.
You can't heal him, he's purple. So you can memorize how long purple lasts, and you can actually preload a projectile shot and then be scoping behind your projectile shot. So the projectile's in the air, hits them right as the purple ends, and then you scope and go into another hit scan heal shot. Like, that's a thing that you could do, but you just spent three shots of your ammo into a target that was purple. You're Anna. you get to know better than anyone else how long purple lasts because you should see purple pretty much every match. Just get a little more mental feel for how long that lasts because there's better shots you can take, like a shot up into this Junkrat. You know, I don't mind you using your weapon, shooting, etc. while they're purple, but take the offensive shot. That's going to contribute more. That's going to make the Junkrat leave. If he takes, 1-2 shots of damage, he'll leave. And if he leaves, he does less damage. And hey, that's kind of like healing. It's the best you can do for healing right now. Instead, you heal your teammates while they're purple and shoot the Junkrat while they're not purple. Okay.
Listen to me instead of me.
Good.
You're powered up. Get in there.
I don't like how shallow your team was there. I suppose I was going too fast. I wasn't going too fast for me, but I suppose for covering what's going on, I was going too fast. So this is fine. Heal your Zen. Please heal your Zen. Please heal your Zen. Good.
Get in there.
You nano that to heal. That's fine. Your team you're sort of making your Genji solo/duo carry this fight, as your team isn't really threatening to the other team yet. But I think he's going to do it. Yeah. I mean, he went effectively into a 2v2 there. You could have given him nade support too, but that's effectively a 2v2. You've given him the nano to... Yeah, he can do that. That's fine.
The payload. Move it out.
Good.
60 seconds.
Cart's not moving. I promise you can take another step over here and be moving the cart. Ugh. Was there ever a chance of that hitting? I don't think so.
60 seconds remaining.
You saw when that bubble went up, so it is possible for you to time a sleep dart for this bubble to end, but I don't think that's what you did.
Tracer here.
Oh, dang. That was actually close to timing it to when it ended. Okay, that's, I mean, you were still off by about a quarter of a second, maybe a touch less, but that was actually a reasonable reach. So I'm not going to be critical of that. That's you trying to get better at it.
Go. I'll keep you here.
You can't heal your Zarya from here, but you could hit an offensive nade. That would be a bigger game changer. So if we look back to when you were chain healing your Rein there.
Go.
This is right, this is right, this is right. Your Rein's too far back, unfortunately. Yeah, he's not giving you a good shot. Yeah, that's fine. We can talk about positioning, but it's less interesting. There's other things to work on.
I will keep you here. 10 seconds remaining.
Okay.
Fire at will.
I promise you do not need to, hop forward ahead of this. You're doing it because of the tire. I get that, but you want to be careful. A, the tire has now... Oh no, that's the other team's... That's your tire. Yeah, you don't need to be hopping forward to touch the cart. A tank will touch the cart. I promise. A tank or your Lucio will touch the cart. You are better off going... I mean, I get it. There's the McCree concern, and you don't have sleep. Let's think for just a second here. I just don't like that you've let yourself get flanked. You pushed back the Tracer. That's your tire. And the McCree takes that angle. Yeah, okay. If your thought was you wanted to do it like this, I guess that's fine. I hope you swing hard to the left here. Are you going to swing hard to the left? Hard to the left. Left. No, not back to the right. See, if you swung back this way, the McCree was never what you were worried about here. Like, yes, there's a Tracer over here, but that's actually less scary than the McCree who has Flashbang. Yeah, I would have liked you to. I'm okay with your rotation if you were aware of that McCree there. I would have preferred you to potentially take this side. This tracer's in worse shape. You've been fighting this tracer, etc. And the tracer can't flash delete you the same way. He actually has to hit a tough clip. He didn't have great options. It's overtime. Okay. With a comp like this, the only thing he needs to really worry about would be Rhine Pin, Nano Shatter, and High Noon. Yeah. Oh, you mean with his Sleep Dart? At the time, yes, I believe that was true. The opposing comp has changed a bit. They have a Tracer, etc. So
That's done.
okay. I am almost positive you're taking too much time lining up the shot when there's better things to do. No, you're not, because your teammates are all already not with you. Okay, fine. Okay, you got him. Let's try and be a little cleaner from here. Yeah, no, I know you meant for sleeps there, Karkar.
I have your back.
So how are you going to use this nano? So I don't want you... See, I found a way to forgive you for this. I didn't love it, but I found a way to forgive you for this. But there's no need for you to be still hugging the cart this closely, etc. Like, you can play back here. If your front line is going to play here, you're just like, hey, I'll play here. Hey, I'll play here. Hey, I could even play from here. These are all options. Yes, I'm aware that there's a McCree there, but, you know, not when he's right here. Like, these are all options. You could even play, in theory, from here. But, like, you don't need to be up here with the cart. It's not doing you enough favors. Like, yes, there's a tracer who you've no, there's not even a tracer anymore. They're Bastion McCree now. You want to play more with your cover and with a little bit of distance. You don't need to play on top of the cart. They're not running like a full dive team that's going to get on top of you that you want your team here to protect you from. Use the distance to your favor. Great idea. Mm-hmm.
You're going to be okay.
You still can't heal purple. You're still trying to heal purple rather than taking the perfectly valid shot to finish off the Bastion here. No! No! That was free!
Get to you.
Okay.
Enemy coming right forward.
It's gonna be shallow.
You're powered up. Get in there. 30 seconds remaining.
Why haven't we slept that Bastion though? The sleep would have been easier than the nade in the first place. Yeah, there you go. And then that would have been a better nade on both of them. And don't get pinned. Again, you don't need to be this close. You can literally play, hey, I want to play this corner. This is better for me. You can play this doorway. Like, you don't need to be this close because they're coming up here to deal with your tanks anyways. So you don't want to be here with your tanks. You can keep your team alive much longer from back here. Now, if you came up here because, hey, you needed to get ability power into the Bastion with your sleep, with your nade, etc., I can live with that. But you can still then rotate your way back, work your way back to a slightly better position here where they have to go through your tanks to get to you, not get to you and your tanks at the same time. Because you can prop your tanks up for much, much longer than your tanks can prop you up if you're here. Whereas if you're here, your tanks can do a fair bit more. Have I done any hog reviews yet? Yeah, I've done hog reviews. I did a hog review on, what was it? I did a hog review. He played hog on Ruins. Yeah, I did a hog review. We covered a lot of take a breather, and we covered a lot of turning around to cover his head hitbox if he's, you know, not taking shots, etc. Yeah, Bastion does less damage as you get further away. His spread and his fall off are both issues for him. Especially against a smaller target like you. Or as people used to complain, a target like Yana with her bajanky hitbox.
Price the
Okay, so we do have a little too much attachment to, playing on the cart even when our team is also playing on the cart. If our team is on the cart against most comps, we're going to want to play behind the cart. If our team is in front of the cart, we might want to play on the cart when we're pushing. We have a bigger issue with, oh hey, purple people can't be healed. You spent at least 6 shots, probably more, into trying to heal people that were purple, and that's not a thing you can do. And for most of those shots, there were better things you could have. For all of those shots, there were better things you could have done. Most of the time, that meant shooting at an enemy who was exposed. Sometimes an enemy who was critical and exposed that you could have deleted. So remember, Ana's weapon is an effective weapon. Yes, it heals more per shot than it does damage-wise, but its damage is respectable. Like, it is a infinite range, scope, weapon, hit scan. Like, it is pretty darn effective for going, oh, there's nothing better I can do with a heal right now because my teammates are purple. Let me put some damage into someone. Or, oh, there's a flanker halfway across the map. Let me put some damage into them so that they have to go find a health pack or go get support before they can come bother me later. You buy yourself more time to keep contributing, etc. by doing those types of things. So don't be afraid of offensive shots, especially don't be afraid of offensive shots when people are purple. And if everyone's purple and there are no offensive shots, that's fine. You can just reload or something. You can reposition. Like there's things you can do that are much more useful than pumping shots into someone who's purple.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming. Defend objective A.
Yeah, there's an offensive shot.
Enemy contact.
We're not going to detour the extra, 3 steps for the health pack? Like, the opposing team... Okay. What do I know?
I've seen. You're going to.
We're going to get that one instead. Fine. Nope, he's on his own. You are spending too long trying to look at him, and your front line is faltering because of it. Nade. No. I'm fine with this leap here, but I really would have preferred a nade right here. Nade right here. Even if this Reinhardt backs out or your Reinhardt backs out and you only get one of them, this would be a good nade opportunity. It's 2 Reinhardts that are trying to swing into each other. Even if one of them ends up shielding, the other one ends up shielding it and it just gets yours, it's a good nade attempt. And it's what I want.
Lights out.
Hitting the sleep instead is fine. That was a better nade opportunity, but, if you didn't have nade, sleep was reasonable there. This hoppity hippity hoppity hippity hoppity was not a rotation. Just so we're clear what you walked through. It's a lot of time tracking this.
Lights out.
Okay, they back off for you, which is nice. That's the reason you feel like you can get away with this. If you want to open this angle to chuck 2 heals into your Reinhardt, totally fine with me. But your actual rotation is not... See? They're back, and there's a Zarya that should be zapping you.
You're covered.
Yeah, you're doing a lot of jumping, which actually makes you easier to track. Please don't do that. You do not have enough aerial movement control when you jump as Ana, so they get to just track your downwards arc. Like they go, oh, you went up, and you're going to come down like this, and you're going to come down like this, and you're going to come down like this, and you're going to come down like this. And that gives someone like, say, Zarya a really easy time to track you because they know pretty much exactly where you're going to go. Oh, you didn't go down like this, you went down like this instead? That was not a hard aim adjustment for me. I still hit 80% of my tracking as you were falling down there, 90% of my tracking as you were falling down there. Don't jump. Whereas if you're walking, you actually have the ability to AD strafe, and even if you don't do it, the mere fact that you have the ability to go, stop short, double back, stop short, pause, go left again, go right again, pause, go right more, etc. The mere fact that you can do that makes you harder to hit. So please don't do this jumping thing. You're jumping when you're in danger here, and you want to break that habit as soon as you can. There's a couple heroes that can get away with jumping. A couple heroes that don't get punished as hard for it, like Mercy, because she has some glide control type stuff and can change the speed at which she falls, doesn't get punished as hard. Tracer, if you're willing to use blanks, won't get punished as hard, though it's still not right, strictly speaking. Like, there's a couple things where you can get away with it, but Ana is not one of them. And for the vast majority of the cast are not them. Please Please break this habit now. And you're not constantly jumping. You're jumping when you walk through something that you know is dangerous. So you think jumping is helping you. Jumping should be a very rare form of breaking prediction on you. Like you can use crouching more if you want. You can be walking. You can go like, hey, you're doing this. You crouch. Then you immediately uncrouch, or you're sidestepping, you crouch and you turn and something like that. That's fine. Or you go and you stop. Even literally stopping when you're previously moving is a better dodge than jumping. Like go, hey, I move, I stop, and then I move again in the same direction. Better than jumping. Cool. And I can see that you think it's helping you because you're not constantly jumping. You're just jumping when you walk through what is a very dangerous rotation that you shouldn't have taken in the first place here. So jumping is not more evasive. Jumping is not better for this type of thing. And also don't do this rotation. Literally, if you needed to peek this to throw 2 shots into your Reinhardt after the sleep dart, fine. Then you go back this way. Or you keep working from here because you go, hey, there's other things I can contribute, etc. But as Ana, you want to be able to get your Reinhardt, so please go back over here. No, now you're in jump mode. Okay, they're purple. They're purple. You see what purple looks like? Still purple. Still purple. You could have scoped and taken a shot at that Zarya when she peeked. Reloading. You were at 0 ammo. I thought for a second you were reloading because they were purple and you thought, hey, I might as well use the time. That would have been better.
Meteor strike is charging.
I'm under fire.
Okay. Get your shot. He's close enough for... Okay, I'm fine with that. You had 3 people to heal. And 2 of them actually needed it while the Reinhardt was get the heal amp, which he might make use of. You dodged a fire strike! I don't think you need to go here. Your Reinhardt's battling. Your Briggs is fine. I see that, low health person too, but your Briggs is clearly going to deal with it. Clearly going to deal with it. Please stay on your Reinhardt. Please stay on your Reinhardt. Please stay on your Reinhardt. Your Reinhardt is actively exchanging swings with another Reinhardt. He needs your help more than you need to go find this critical health person that your Briggs is clearly already going to deal with. And even if there was some critical health person and your Briggs wasn't going to deal with them already, please stay on your Reinhardt. Unless it's like, hey, we coordinated a Nanoblade and keeping my Genji alive is critical because we're going to Nanoblade to win this fight, please stay on your Reinhardt.
Back off.
Why was there not a nade here?
Get back in the fight.
Nade in here would have actually helped your Briggs, would have finished the Mercy, would have been perfectly fine, could have gotten some damage on the Genji if you put it into a wall, not to him.
Back off.
Nade right here was automatic. You've taken damage. There's a Reinhardt right here who's going to turn purple from it. Like, the nade button should just be automatic right here. Not sure why you went for the sleep. The nade. Go for the nade.
وليهم قوتك. أكون فقدت. التكرار يعلم الشطار.
The name's McCree.
To answer chat's question from earlier, that was not a reasonable sleep. That is literally telling the opposing team, hey, I don't have sleep available anymore, so you guys can come forward and try to stagger me. Shouldn't have even peeked them in the first place. Your team wasn't here yet.
I will keep you healed.
I think you're still down 1, but you could start to take space in a second here. Good. Reload. Reload. You're fine. Good. Okay, you're all here. You can push for space.
Covered. You're powered up. Get in there.
Much better nade, by the way. That's the best nade I think that we've seen all match from you.
Get back in the
Taking
fight.
damage.
scratch. You'll be fine.
You're Anna. You know how long purple lasts. I like that you're like trying to get better. You're like, oh yeah, he's still purple. I'll look away. Let me go check the window if there's someone to shoot at. I like that, but you know how long purple lasts. You don't need to recheck yourself. Now you're only level 98, at least on this account. Maybe this is your first account, so maybe you haven't internalized how long purple lasts yet. But spend some time internalizing it, because you shouldn't, as Anna, have to look back to check if someone's no longer purple anymore. You should know how long purple lasts, and if not, you'll get it with time. Not a big deal.
Rally to me!
Please don't get overly distracted trying to heal your McCree here. Good. You literally can't heal someone through barrage fast enough. It is actually better to take the offensive shot. At the Pharah, who you're definitely not going to miss. I mean, it's better still to sleep her, but you didn't have sleep, and you used your stuff, your cooldowns reasonably, so that's fine.
Fire.
Come over here!
They're purple. They're purple. There you go. You're looking
I'll keep you healed.
perfect. You're going to weave past the purple teammates, hit teammates that can actually get healed. Good, good.
My ultimate is ready. Get it, I have found the enemy. Come and face me.
That would have been good. So that would have been good. It got yoinked. I mean, it's possible that you'd have hit your Reinhardt in the bum rather than putting it here, which is where you wanted it, but it got yoinked, so we'll never know. And you were trying, so I'm fine. Turn and heal your bricks. Even in this, you can see enough to know what you need to do. Okay, a little slow there. Yeah, that's fine. Go die on card. You shouldn't expect to get out from this. You shouldn't. Like, they got enough of you. They're up. Well, Doomfist could maybe carry it back. You're down 1. Doomfist into a nano. Okay, you trying to get out is reasonable. Okay, now you leave.
Get healed.
You can't wait. You can't wait for him. You have to all the way get out. There you go. Further. Get out further. Keep going. Keep going.
Lights out.
Not how we use leap darts. You're literally telling them that you have one less way to defend yourself.
Much better.
That's the best you can do.
You're powered up. Get in there.
McCree's back here. You know your Reinhardt. Fine. Don't really want to do that for 2 reasons. A, that's bubbled, and I'm pretty sure it was bubbled when you threw it.
You're powered up. Get in there.
Yeah, that's bubbled before you press the button. And you guys, just so you know, wait, are you sure he's not started the animation and you just can't tell yet? It changes colors the instant he presses it. You see it with sleep all the time. So you're choosing to throw this bubble when after this guy is bubbled. And you're also, actually, I think your nade comes out a little later still. Yeah. So if you couldn't tell that, hey, my Rhine was purple before you threw this one, I get that. But you could definitely tell that there was a bubble here before you threw this nade, so it wasn't going to get enough value. And your Rhine was full health. If he wasn't yet purple, he was full health and nanoed. He's not going to take damage very fast. He was full health. He has damage reduction. It's totally fine if you want to throw a nade out when this bubble is gone and try to get both Rhines. But the bubble was here. You could see the bubble here, and you might have even seen that your Rhine was purple before you threw it. So this isn't what we want to do with our nade. We want to find a better window. We want to get a good nade. We want to get a good nade early in the fight. But we want to actually make sure it's a nade that is likely to get enough value before we throw it. And this one isn't.
Just a scratch. You'll be fine.
It's fine. Just trying to heal your BAP. Again, there's positioning issues here, but the nade usage is so much more painful. So let's go back here, because I haven't talked a ton about positioning with you yet. Get your health pack, keep going, don't wait, we've covered this. Okay. You're using that as your cover, that's not very good. Could play from here. Could play from here. Could do that. Don't need to walk forward to hit this nade if it's a nade you want. Don't need to walk forward. Don't know why you walked so close to hit this nade. Absolutely no reason. I know there's a little bit of a slope to this hill, but you can adjust your aim and still get your nade there when you want, and I'd have been more forgiving of the nade because, hey, there wouldn't have been a bubble in the way, your Reinhardt wouldn't have been purple, etc. These things still would have happened, but I'd have been more forgiving of it. You'd be able to hop over here to get a health pack whenever you want. You'd be able to hop over here to close cover whenever you want. There wasn't a good reason for you to walk up here. To get good nades, you don't walk closer, you take angles. So if you went, oh, I'm playing from up here to get a good nade, look at how easy it would be to get a good nade from over here. Or, you know, if you were like, there's not a good place here, but if you were in a situation where you were attacking and the defending team was here and your team was attacking from here, you could go here to get a nade. And look how easy that is. Yes, these both had high ground, but even if this didn't have high ground, even if we were playing from here, it would still be easier to get a good nade. And then you'd rotate back. We don't walk closer to get good nades, we take angles. And walking closer is compromising your position badly. And again, this shatter can't hit you if you're right here. It just can't. You can break line of sight. You might have enough height to break it. You almost certainly do have enough height to break it. Like, you know, there's reasons that we want you to have good positioning. I don't like that nade. I also don't like how long you've delayed taking that shot. I also don't like that you're trying to get out of a fight that you're clearly not going to get out of. Turn around and press W towards the card. You won't get to it, but you'll force them to eliminate you faster.
Old soldiers are hard to kill. It's just a scratch, you'll be fine.
Good offensive shot. You're gonna sleep that? Nice, but can we please get a nade over there? Please? Please? That was slow.
Get here.
Okay. Nades into grabs are generally good, even when it's your team getting grabbed, because, hey, it is, you know, some healing to them. It's going to accelerate the healing that you're going to continue to pump into them, and there's often things like, oh, Reinhardt swinging into it that have to either stop to block your nade or are now purple as they're swinging into it, which is good. Okay. So that's the match. Let's rewind just to get a different end screen here. This is fine. So that's the match. That was fine. Definitely things you need to work on. Talked a little bit about positioning. Talked a lot about nade usage. So do we want to do that? We could talk about nade usage probably. Yeah, nade usage is always good, and you do need nade usage help. So remember, we don't walk closer to get good nades. We take angles to get good nades, and we want our nades to get multiple people, and we want to lean offensive, not defensive with our nades. So when Reins are swinging at each other, good time for nades. I'd prefer you to favor nade to sleep in those situations. That's a good time for nades. Please use your nades there. Those are good. If you can take an angle to throw a nade, that's fine. If you would like to walk closer to get an nade, you are probably doing something wrong most of the time. So please don't do that. Speaking in the nade territory, remember, when your team is purple, you have to find teammates who aren't purple to help, or you have to find something else helpful to do, like poke at enemies, pressure enemies. You can reduce the damage it takes by pressuring out a Junkrat or a McCree on high ground, by pressuring out a Genji, etc. And that's the best thing you can do to help your team right then, because you can't heal them when they're purple. So, I really want you to be thinking, how can I get better nades? How can I be going, hey, let me make sure my nades are getting multiple people, preferably getting at least one opponent when I'm throwing these nades. And again, angles are going to really help with that. And then I also want you to understand when my team is purple, when I'm playing in an Ana mirror match, I need to find other things to do. And you're going to get a bonus third one because this is important for all of you, and you could actually make this the first thing that you work on. You're not doing this like stupid amounts, but when you think you're in danger, you're doing jump movement. Please don't do jump movement. Like, it's a really easy habit to pick up, and it's kind of a hard habit to break. You might even want to rebind your jump key. I've heard that's worked for a lot of people, rebinding your jump key so that you have to consciously think about jumping more, and it's not the spacebar, which is such a big, easy button for us to hit. So please break that jump habit. It does not make you more evasive. I went on for like 3 minutes on it in the middle of the video. You can get back there. So that is the thing that will help you on all of your heroes the most if you're playing a lot of different heroes. If we're talking Ana, Ana specific something, you're going, no, I'm playing lots of Ana, I want to work on Ana, you're going to get the most bang for your buck out of probably working on your nades. And the way to improve, you pick one thing, you focus on it, and for the next 5, 10, 15, 1 day, 2 day games, or 1 day of games, 2 day of games, 3 day of games, a week of games, whatever it takes, while you're actively thinking about doing this one thing that you're working on right, until it starts to become part of your autopilot, until it becomes ingrained in your play, etc. And then when you stop thinking about it, you keep doing it so you can start finding the next thing in this list of 2 or 3 things I gave you to focus on, to work on, etc. And then you build your own list of things to work on, or you come find me and you give me money and I give you more things to work on, etc. And I tell you which is the most important. Like I just did here. If you're playing a bunch of heroes, it's your jumping issue. If you're thinking about just your Ana, you're going to get more bang for your buck out of your nades. Both of them need to be fixed at some point. Okay, if you guys are enjoying the content, please do like and subscribe. That definitely helps me out. Or if you are looking to get coaching yourself, you can join my Discord in the description below. And through there, you can see my rates. You can chat about Overwatch stuff. We, discuss balance patches, all those things. Why not? Or you can participate in the Recruiter Friend special for a couple more days. Save 25% off both for you and a buddy. Do I see any new questions from chat? I do not. I am going to do one more of these, I think. So I'll be back live in just a couple minutes. It'll have a different URL because that's how YouTube streaming works. But if you're hanging out in my channel, you should see it, or I'll post the link in the Discord and you guys can hop right into it. Otherwise, see you guys in a couple minutes. Thanks. Temporal out.